everybody. We're back. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. It's the day after Christmas, so maybe some of you are back to work. Some of you still had a holiday like we did. So we thought, I keep touching the microphone, sorry. We thought we'd go live and continue our 100 outside the 100. Sorry we're a little bit after 9 o'clock because our children don't know how to pick up their crap.
Yeah, we only started asking them at 8 o'clock.
Cardboard has exploded.
If I see another piece of cardboard, I'm going to get mad. Other than board games. Board games are cool.
Oh, okay. So, 100 outside the 100. We are starting at 145 this week. Going hopefully to 135, at least covering 10.
I have a cough. I'm getting over something, so I may talk less than normal. And I'm going to be drinking this. I'm not even sorry.
And his coughing is really annoying. Amber, I did one. It was like Murder at the Dive Bar. I don't know if you have that one or not. But it's, FYI, super easy. Just saying.
I was talking to her about that Supernova one.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen them catch a killer games at Target.
Yeah, they're all over. They're pretty popular.
Hunt a killer, excuse
Hunt
me.
a killer. Dive bar is what she's doing right now, apparently.
It's easy. Like, it's so easy, you're like, really? This is, that can't be it. That's it? And it is.
So now, Katie's made everyone feel like a moron if they don't think it's easy. So, there you go. I would probably be spending 6 hours on it.
No.
All right, let's start talking about that.
Anyways, so we're going to start 145. Again, we're working up to meet where we are, kind of not where we are in the podcast, but we're working up to our top 100 games, which we've been covering in our podcast. So if you haven't listened to those, you should. Because those games are 100 better than these games.
In our opinion.
In our opinion.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, we haven't had a ton of crossover. Like, we have had some of the same games on our lists, but they have varied for the most part.
We've had a couple exact crossovers, at least one. Last week we had one exactly.
Foreshadowing. There's another one this week on this week's podcast.
I haven't even looked yet, so that's awesome.
I just found out. So I'm going to start with 145, and I think you already talked about this game, maybe. But it's a really interesting game that a friend of the podcast, Fred, hey Fred, shout out, we love you. He brought it to our attention, and that is Legacy, the Testament of Duke de Crecy. This is just a really interesting, unique game because you are kind of creating this family tree, which we were talking about a game. Is it Eric? No, it's not Eric Lang. Oh, who did the other family tree game that was like a big deal for a while? I distinctly remember us walking from Origins with Joel discussing this game.
Oh yeah, it was in the Calliope deal. It was like an Eric Lang game or something.
It was. I see. That's right.
Yeah, I think. I don't know, but it was pretty bad. That's what I've heard. I haven't played it. I don't know.
But this game is where you are like building family tree. So you are working actually on making your family members, like they're doing civic works and things. They're helping them kind of gain this reputation so that you can marry them off. Because you want to keep the family like with good reputation and money. Really kind of interesting card play, like tableau building. And it's a family tree, so you are going to need room for that tableau. And it does go through several generations, which I think is really cool. We haven't played it for a while.
Because our tables aren't big enough.
Right. Oh, I thought maybe we got a new table since...
Oh, it might work on that one out there, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work on this one very well.
No.
I played 4 players back here and it was tough.
Yikes. Yeah. But it is a cool game. I just like that idea. It's what kind of interested me in my father's work, which... Can we use your gift card on that?
Oh, that's a possibility if they have it.
Sorry, I'm derailed. The idea of like playing a game through like various generations, I think is really interesting and cool. And this game is like that. It's not like genetics, which there are other games that I like that do deal with genetics and how they kind of move on to different generations, but this is just purely like political movement, dowry kind of stuff, but you're in charge of it. So kind of like thumbs its nose at the patriarchy a little bit because you can do it the opposite way. So my 145 is Legacy Testament of Crecy.
If we played this game more, it would probably break my top 100 because it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I think I need to like refresh myself.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it exactly. I mean, I know what it is, and I remember it takes up a lot of room on the table, but
it does.
I don't ever think like, man, this is really good, so I need to play it again.
But it is.
All right, so my number 145 is actually an old one. This is 50 years old plus. And this game is called Bermuda Triangle. It's fantastic. This is a spin and move, roll and move game where you're trying to move I think you have 3 boats. You're trying to move them along these paths to get to different ports to collect different types of goods. And it's a race to get to a certain number of points. So when you pick up a good, it's worth some value of money. You don't know. They're face down. You can play them face up, but I like it face down because it's cooler. But after every round, the Bermuda Triangle, big storm cloud, is going to be moving, and it may suck up your ships. You're going to spin the spinner, and it's going to move in a direction and a number of spaces. And it's magnetic, so if it goes over your ship, you hear a click, and you know that your ship got sucked up. So now you're out some ships. You're going to keep going like that until someone loses all their ships or someone hits the threshold of money. Then whoever has the most money is the winner. There's no reason this game should be as good as it is, but I love it. I can play it with our youngest daughter. It's just dumb fun. It's not really a great game, but it's just dumb fun. And the triangle is great. Who doesn't love moving that triangle around and sucking up a ship? So yeah, Bermuda Triangle, 145.
It's not that great.
It's not a great game. I just said that.
I know, but Jason loves a gimmick, and
I like some old games too. Not a ton. Not all
I like
the
some
time,
old games too, but Bermuda Triangle is not really that good. The couple times I played, I won handily.
Yeah, it's just a roll and move, collecting cards, and hoping you don't get sucked up by the triangle. That's it. That's the whole entire game.
Yeah, if you don't get stuck with the triangle, it's kind of like a letdown, I think.
It is. It's like, oh man, like, are you? You know, everybody else could have 3 ships. You have 1, and you're still just like chucking along and trying to collect stuff, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
Speaking of kind of gimmicky games and roll and move games, my 144 is a roll and move, but the push your luck aspect of this, it really makes this game hit home for me. And actually, I think this is my highest racing game, and that is Homestretch. We have played the crap out of Homestretch. This is from R&R Games, right? Mm-hmm. It's a horse racing game.
What?
Yes. Imagine that. But you are, not only are you betting on horses, but you're also, like you own stakes in horses. So I also like the fact that you bet before the race starts. Because I feel like that kind of takes off some of the tension, the stress. Ready, set, bet, that's too much. Because it's like happening all the time, and I don't like that. So if I've already done the betting, it's over. I'm just hoping for the payoff. And you're rolling and you're moving these horses. You know, you're coming with commentary like, yeah, come on too. And they've all got like crazy names, Lucky Strike or whatever. And you're cheering on their names and you're like booing other people's horses. And they're these little horses that move around the circle.
I mean, you can also choose to not let somebody's horse move too when you roll, which is pretty gamery.
That's true. So there are some ways, there are some gamery choices that you can do in it. Like, am I going to just move to and roll again and hope I like get a different horse that I want to move? There's just a lot of different kind of things happening there. It's my favorite. It's ugly. It's so ugly, but it's just so fun. So my 144 is Homestretch.
It's going. I don't know where it is on my list. No surprise. My number 144 is a game that I swear I've talked about before, but I mean I have before, but on this list, so I was just going.
I talked about it last week.
Okay, maybe that's why it felt really familiar. I mean, we have talked about it before, and it is Dark Tales, and this is a game from DV Games. They have an Italian name that I'm not going to try to pronounce, and this is effectively a card game with cool like fairy tale art. And
Gothic fairy tale
Gothic
art.
fairy tale art. And all you're trying to do is score the most points. Everything gives you points. You look at a card and it gives you points. It's like if Feld made a card game, it would be this game. But all you're doing is...
You have to feed people, though.
That's true. That's Uwe. All you're doing is drawing a card and playing a card or more cards. That's it. That's the whole entire game. But you're building like a tableau in front of you. You're building a shared tableau for everybody. You may be discarding some cards. You may be using these little tokens to get bonuses. It seems like it shouldn't be a good game, but it feels really familiar because a lot of card games play like that.
Yeah.
And with the cool art, big cards, like not tarot size, but pretty big cards, and points for everything, I like that. So my number 144, Dark Tales.
Yeah, I like just a little bit less. I talked about it last week. There's several different iterations. Little Red Riding Hood.
They're all good.
Little Mermaid.
Cinderella, and
Snow White. Yeah, they are all really good. My number 143 is a game that's super new to me, and it's so high because I just love the mechanic. But it's actually done in the game Red Rising, and I like that game better. And I think I may have talked about it on our podcast. I'm pretty sure. But that game's Marvel Remix. So Marvel Remix is a game where you've got a hand of cards and you are trying to make the best hand that you possibly can. It does the mechanic that I like, that I don't know if there's a name for it, like hand management, kind of, but you're like trying to get the cards to synergize with each other to get the most points, and cards to play off other cards so that your hand has the most points.
It almost feels like gin. Like that's what you're doing in gin. You're playing rum effectively, but you're keeping all the cards in your hand. So in this game,
yeah, but gin, there's only one way to do it.
There's multiple ways. You can get runs, you can get threes of a kind, you can get a whole bunch of stuff. So it's a similar kind of idea as you want this card to go with this card, but it all stays in your hand. So
sort of, but I'm really bad at gin.
I'm a gin shark.
Yeah, Jason.
Me and those old ladies.
85-year-old women.
We will destroy some gin. I haven't played for a long time. I probably stink now.
I don't know. I'm not good at gin, but I am good at Marvel Remix, and I am good at Red Rising because I am good at like making sure my cards are feeding off of each other to get those maximum points. Now, the thing I will say about Marvel Remix and why it's probably this far down the list, because I really, really enjoy the mechanic, and I really like Marvel, and those two together, and I like card games, but it kind of has an arbitrary ending.
Yeah, it is pretty arbitrary. I hate the ending, in fact.
Because
there's 10 cards in the table. Once there's 10 cards on the table, the game's over.
And that could happen...
10 turns.
Yeah, in 10 turns.
You may get three turns. And that's not fun.
Well, it depends. Like, it depends on what your starting hand is, and if you're able to, like, get the cards to fit in the way you want. But the thing is, it's so quick, even if it's not 10 turns, that you can say, okay, I had a bad hand that round, let's play another one. And so that's where I think it's not so detrimental to where it is on my list because of that. But I just love the idea of like, okay, I got this hero, I want to combine Loki, he's his villain, with I don't know. I don't know any of the cards. I've played this just a couple times. But cards will go together. So if I want this certain hero with his weapon of
Thor,
choice.
you need like Stormbreaker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so like, okay, am I actually going to get that card? I don't know. Can I get other members of the Avengers to work together in this? It's just really accessible. So it's light, and it's a way, I think, to help people kind of understand some of the nuances that you can have in deck building, that you can have in engine building games, but with a theme that people really like and are attracted to, and in a card game that people, I think people are less intimidated by sometimes, card games. So that's why I really like this. So, but again, like that same type of thing happens in your hand in Red Rising with other things going on, and I prefer that game because it's more of a game.
You can control the ending in that game a little bit more.
But this is quick, it's easy, definitely something fun you could pack in your bag and play like while you're waiting for dinner or something. It doesn't take up a lot of table room. My 143, Marvel Remix.
Yeah, if you played this, the one time we played, I think we just played the one round, right?
No, we played a couple.
Okay, the first time I played it with Chris and Amy, we played a round per person, and I feel like that's what you probably should do. Because then if you have a bad one, chances are you won't have 3 bad ones or 4 bad ones. So.
Right. We actually don't own this, and I wouldn't mind.
Fantasy Realms is the same game, just without a Marvel theme. But, yeah, it might be more readily available.
Oh,
My number 143 is a game that I think that the theme is hilarious. And our friends Brandon and Josie had this game, and the company sent me a copy just because I think it's hilarious. And it is called Gem Hens. And this is a game about chickens who are being fed fancy seeds, and they lay like Fabergé eggs. What that boils down to is you have some dice, you're rolling these dice. Kind of like a real-time thing. You're rolling these dice, and you're planning on how you want to use your dice. And you're going to be using those dice to move chickens in different ways, move gems around, maybe put new gems out in the field. And then you're going to be moving your chickens. And you're going to move chickens and try to eat different colored gems, which is how you're going to get them on your Fabergé egg. So, I don't know. It's almost like they poop out the gem. Don't think about it too much. It's a dumb thing. But you're trying to complete different sets of colors of gems on your Fabergé eggs to score points. There's like multiple different sections with different colored gems that are needed. There are some that are wild. There are some that you may not need. It's just a silly, dumb, fun game. And if you've never heard of it, we have a video of it. You can check it out. But it's one of the best themes ever. So my number 143, Gem Hens.
I just did not like this game.
I like it. I don't love it. I like it, though. I don't love it.
It's not my top 200, that's for sure. I played it once because you and Brandon and Josie played it. We're like, oh, this game's so great. And I was like, okay. And
you fell victim to the hype machine. You were the contrarian this time.
No, because I wanted it to be good. I'm like, okay. And it's got little, like, chicken meatballs. So I was
It has cool bits.
Cool, I'm in.
And a farmer. Little farmer.
There's a farmer?
He's like a round marker.
Oh, it was okay. It is an interesting theme. That's all I got. My 142 is a really great theme. A theme that I talked about in the podcast when I talked about Dinosaur Island, because who doesn't love to make a dinosaur park? But this game is simpler, quicker, but still really cute and fun, and that's Draftosaurus. And honestly, our friend Chris had this game, and I was like, we need to own this game, because I kept thinking about how much fun it was. So Draftosaurus is almost like a flip and write or a roll and write, but you're drawing dinosaurs instead.
Yeah, instead of drawing dinosaurs on your board, you're actually drawing them.
A draw in place is what it is, essentially. You're drawing these dinosaurs out of the bag, and you're placing them in different pins in your park. And there's restrictions on where they can go. You want different types of dinosaurs in different enclosures, and you're scoring points for all those different ways. We have one expansion.
The marina.
Yeah, with some water dinosaurs. There's another one that has like the flying dinosaurs. We don't have, but I would probably like to get it because this game is so fun. Little dinosaurs are so cute. And it's just kind of like what you're doing in a roll and write, where you're deciding, okay, am I going to place something here or place something there? And if I place it here now, who knows what I'm going to get later? I may get something I want to put there or not, because everyone's drafting like a handful of so many dinosaurs. You take one and then you're passing on. So it truly is a drafting game, but you are then taking what you're drafting and placing it in a pin, which I think is really fun. It's quick, but again, you get to play with little dinosaur meeples. And you get to build a dinosaur park. And so there are restrictions that make it gamer enough that there's some strategy involved, but it's still like super accessible, and the theme is really fun. So my number 42, Draftosaurus.
Yeah, anybody can play this game. It's really good. Mm-hmm. It's super cheap too. It's like $20, and you get a ton of awesome little wooden dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So my number 142 is, I think you talked about it on something before.
Yeah, it's probably earlier in my list.
And it is a pick up and deliver game. And it is Black Fleet. Wait a minute. I know why my numbers were off. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's funny. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. So yeah, my number 142 is Black Fleet. And yeah, that's funny. And this is a pick up and deliver pirate game and you are controlling a pirate ship and a merchant ship, and you're trying to move around these different islands to gather. I'm such an idiot. To gather different resources.
What did you do? I don't understand.
I was looking at these numbers, 143, and it should have been those numbers. That's why I thought this was 145, and I crossed off the other one because I'm a dummy. I never talked about this one.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, you're picking up stuff. You're picking up cubes from islands, and you're trying to deliver them to other islands to earn money. And then you're going to use that money to flip over these like 5 or 6 cards in front of you, depending on how long of a game you want to play. And those cards are going to give you special abilities. Once you complete the last one, you win the game. It's like a race, kind of. But there's also a Navy ship, 2 Navy ships, a purple and a yellow. And when you move, you're going to play a card, and it's going to move your ships. But it's also, that's true, Mike, it's also going to move the merchant ships as well. And you may be able to hit somebody's pirate ship and steal some of their goods or all that kind of thing. You're just trying to get as many goods as you can and score as many points as you can. Really cool production, huge board. Probably not my favorite pick up and deliver game, but I do like it. So 142, Black Fleet.
Jason always sorting out his numbers after now. I do like Black Fleet. Straight out the box, great components. We got it for a song. I think now it's like out of print and no one can find it anymore, which stinks because it is like a nice, fun little game that is good. It has great components. And like, yes, it can be take thatty, but it's so short. And like, if you get knocked out or caught by the ships, Navy ships or whatever, you just come right back on the board next turn. I love the cubes fit down inside your actual ship, your merchant ship that you're moving your pick up and deliver with. I think that's really cool. You can also store one in your pirate ship. I love the pirates. And the art is really cute on this one. It's like super cute. Mm-hmm. My 141 was introduced to us by the infamous, the famous Fan Zero, Mike Corney. Just this past year, and we liked it so much, Jason immediately tried to find a copy, and we bought it. And that game is Don't Go In There. So this was a fun, like, Halloween-themed game. It's one of those games that I love where you, like, use the box also as part of the game. And that's always really fun. But in this game, you're like kids going into like this haunted house or whatever. So there's these really cool dice. I don't know if it's only the Kickstarter edition or whatever.
I think the only difference is more cards. I'm pretty sure. And the wooden planchette.
And the different ghosts. Different.
I think that's standard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so the dice glow in the dark. So you're going into these different rooms. You're placing your little people in these different rooms to like bid for these cards. And it's set collection. So it's set collection, and then you're rolling the dice to see like how many ghosts are in there. And if you end up with ghosts are bad. Whoever has the most ghosts at the end of the game gets like, I forget how many negative points.
Every ghost, 2 ghosts is worth a -1 or something like that. An extra, like, however many ghosts you have, you divide by 2, you get that much bad stuff.
Okay. And so you're trying to keep as low of a score as possible.
Correct, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're like trying to get rid of cards, get rid of ghosts, like getting ghosts versus getting better cards. All the different card sets do different things, have different powers, which I think is really cool. It's like a creepy theme, which I love. All the ghosts have different expressions on them, which I think is really cute. The dice glow in the dark, which I think is really cool. Not that you're playing in the dark. It's just a fun game. There's dice rolling. There's a cool dice tower. There's little ghosties. There's set collection. Super basic, super easy. But I just such a fun game. I was so taken by it just from the first time I played it. So now we own it. So that's my 141. Don't Go In There.
I think I talked about that already. Or
Maybe.
somewhere on something.
Who knows?
But either way, my number 141. Really my number 141.
No, really number 145.
This is really my number 141.
Oh, okay.
And it is a game that we just got not that long ago because our friend Chris gave it to us. And it is called Eternal Palace. Mm-hmm. And this is a game, it's a dice placement game. where you're rolling these dice, and behind your screen you're like putting them into groups to form different numbers, 1 through I think like 20 or something. I don't know. So you can group a die in 1, 2, 3 or more dice, and then you're going to reveal your shield, and you're going to place your dice on the board. All you're trying to do with these dice is move up on tracks. It's nothing but tracks. Every single space is a track or collecting resources. So it's a race to the top of the tracks. If you get to the top, you get this feature or a landscape, which you're going to put on your little easel. If you're the first person to get up onto the track, you're going to get a feature as well, which is extra points, and you're trying to get as many features and landscapes as you can to earn points. There's also monument tiles. If you go build some stuff with your resources, you can move along the Great Wall, all that kind of thing. It's tracks the Euro game, and I like it. It takes a long time for like 13 points, but it's all good. So my number 141, my real number 141, Eternal Palace. Yeah,
I like this one. Maybe some more plays will grow on me.
When I played with Brandon last time, it was better. Yeah.
My number 140 is a game that has a really an off-putting box cover for what the game is. The box cover looks like it's some kind of aggressive, like attacking game where you're fighting monsters. It's not. And the game is Abyss. I don't know why. That is just poorly chosen cover art, because the game is really pretty inside and it's fun. So
people like this box cover. I don't know why.
It's
gross.
It doesn't. It's okay, but it doesn't go with what's inside the game. Like,
yeah,
I would never want to play this game, especially with the name Abyss and then this like fearsome face on it. I was like, I don't think I want to play that. And then we played it, and I was like, oh, this is good. So there's kind of some auction involved.
Yeah, some auction, some push your luck, set collection.
Yeah, and there's pearls, which are really cool, and you're trying to get like these leaders. They're going to help you. It's just like, it's a really neat game. It's got some really interesting mechanics. It's really pretty. There's some expansions to this, right?
2.
We don't have any of them though, do we?
One of them is really hard to find, and the other one's supposedly not that good. The one that's really hard to find is a good one.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we haven't played this one in a while, because I just forget about it. Because again, the box is also really dark, and the name is really terrible. But the game is really fun, and just like, okay, do I want to keep going? Do I want to take that card? Do I want to wait? Am I going to hope to get a pearl? There's just a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, you're fighting monsters too somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get the theme at all, but like the artwork is cool. The pearls are like fun tactical,
they look like
tactile
pearls.
things to play with. Of course, I'm saying that. But just how you decide how you want to gain points, it is kind of one where I feel like you can kind of go your own route, and it works out really well in this game. So my number 140 is Abyss.
Yeah, we do need to play that. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
My number 140, that would have been 140 even without my engineering earlier, is a game. It's a Yahtzee Cthulhu game. And it's called Ancient Terrible Things. And this is one we played with Mike McCorney at Origins. And I liked it. So I found a copy in trade, I think. And it literally is Yahtzee with Cthulhu. You're getting different dice, you're rolling those dice, and you're trying to make combos to defeat these monsters before you go insane. And if you can't defeat a monster, you take a little insanity token, which is like negative points. If all those are gone, I haven't played it for a while, so Mike, you can correct me. But if you know how to play Yahtzee, the rest of it will fall in line. There's some also, you can spend some gold to buy some cards that will give you extra dice, extra items, all that kind of thing to help you on your journey to defeat the monsters. It's really fun. It actually has pretty good art. I like the art in it for Cthulhu. I don't love the Cthulhu theme, but again, this is Yahtzee with a paste-it-on theme. But I really like it. So my number 140, 4D, is Ancient Terrible Things. There is a new edition coming out that will have everything, the expansions and all that stuff, I believe, be hitting Kickstarter. So if you're interested, go check that out.
Oh. Yeah, we haven't played this one in a while. I think we should break this one out again too. My number 139 is a game. Once I heard about it, I was like, this game has to happen. And I think I actually hunted this sucker down and found it on some Canadian website or something, or someone else.
Oh, I found it on the
said
Canadian
it was
website.
there.
Yeah, someone else found it.
I was like, go get it.
It was super cheap too, coming from Canada.
Yeah, because I love. Oh my gosh, stop! We love Canadians.
Boxing Day. Come on.
It is Boxing Day.
I know. I'm making fun of it. Let me make fun of it.
It's Awkward Guess. Speaking of which, so Awkward Guess is like Clue, but more, and it has this really crazy system to like figure out through the cards to pick like the killer and the weapon and the place where it happened. It's got this really cool board where you're trying to like track how the killer went through certain rooms. You're trying to keep track of who says they were with whom and like who is lying. And there's like different levels of complexity because as it gets more, you can make it harder. And there's an accomplice. And you're like, well, there are 2 people lying. Holy crap.
I can't even do it in the maze. I am terrible at this.
It is hard. Like it's such a challenge, but I think that's what makes it so fun. Like you're passing around cards, but you don't get all the cards. And you're like, what am I missing? What do you know that I don't know?
That card stuff is cool too because they have a value. So if I give you a value 5, you have to give me 5 value in cards back, which is pretty cool.
Right. So it's like trying to make sure like that the amount of information that's exchanged is equal. But you can always exchange people's cards back to them. So then there's that kind of, well, am I going to actually get good information, new information, or am I going to get the same information I already know? It's not going to help me move forward. It's kind of like, okay, well, I want to know about this place and this person. People are like, okay, well, I got 4 clue. I got 3 clue. I got a 2 clue and a 3 clue, so that makes a 5 clue. So you're trying to decide, okay, who am I going to take clues from, which can kind of help you decide, okay, I don't have information from them, I do have information for them. Or you can take information from everybody, but you have to give them information back. I really think it's so interesting. It's really fun to play, but it is hard. I would like to play it more, but it doesn't make it to the table very often because not as many people love clue style games like I do. But I really like it. My 139 Awkward Guess.
Yeah, there is a newer version called Scandalo, which is about like tabloids.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah, apparently the card system's not as good either. But so there is another one. Get Awkward Guess if you're gonna get one because it's better. Yeah. Sorry. My number 139, Katie has already talked about in passing, and that is Red Rising. So this is everything Katie said. You're trying to get as many points as you can in your hand by taking cards, playing them, picking up new ones to kind of replace what you played. Some cards will go with others, like if I need John Doe over here, and I need a blue plane, I need to get the blue plane with John Doe. Those aren't the characters. I don't remember what they're called. It doesn't matter. But you want to get those in your hand to score extra points. There's some cool stuff on the board that you're trying to move up on these tracks. These tracks are cool. You're trying to get cubes in this little area majority section. You're trying to collect helium and there's also a little like metal piece that if you get it, you'll activate your special ability, and that helps too. And
it's like the leader.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about Red Rising. It has cool art, decent production. The deluxe components are not that great because those metal cubes.
They are great. They're just not
the
color
colors
friendly.
are bad. The colors are really bad. But the game, get the retail. It doesn't matter. It's a good game. It does everything Marvel Remix does, but I feel like you can control it a little bit more. It goes on a little bit longer, so you can kind of get the cards that you want. You can control when the game will end because you can see the end coming, and it takes a little bit longer. Like, yeah, you can see it on Marvel Remix, but you can't really do much about it. You can specifically delay it in this one if you want to keep going to get better cards. So I didn't like this that much, but the more I play it, the more I like it, and I understand what's going on, and I'm still terrible at it, but I do enjoy it. So my number 139, Red Rising.
Yeah, I don't think I've even talked about this yet on the podcast. I don't remember. I really like this game. This is from Stonemaier. It's based on a book series that I haven't read, but I heard that was just okay, so I decided not to dive into it because I have a lot of things on my to-read list.
It's like the Hunger Games.
But Jason killed the theme. But the theme...
What theme?
The whole theme is Red Rising, like the book, and all these different groups.
I really feel that when I'm taking a card from my hand and putting it down and picking another card up.
It's really good.
I need your grandma to get on.
Why are you like
this? Gets out of control.
My number 138 is a game we backed on Kickstarter. I think Jason already talked about it. It's basically a route building game, and it has awesome components. And that's Moonshine Empire.
I did talk about this.
I mean, the theme is awesome. Number one, like, it's about run and shine, and like Pappy's decided to retire. Someone's got to take over his shine network. So you're going to show them that you can.
Yes.
So
now this game has theme.
Sure. So you got to get your still set up. You can even get better still. And then you got to get your vehicles so you can move the shine into the swamp. And of course, it's a swamp. So like some places trucks can go, some places airboats can go, some places actual boats can go, some places like your ATVs can go, and you're getting everybody in there, moving them around. But the thing is, once the vehicles go out, they don't really belong to you. Anybody else could jump in them and then take off as well. You can even go and steal people's shine from their camps if you want, but I think that's stupid. It's kind of a waste of your time because it is really kind of hard.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get over that.
Yes, it is really hard to move stuff. I think playing this at larger player counts would make it really interesting because you've got all these networks just laying around. You're avoiding gators, you're avoiding the 5-0.
Well, sometimes even landing on a tile, there could be angry people on there too trying to steal your shine.
Yeah.
Like holding you hostage and stuff.
It's just like, it's fun. The theme is fun. You actually like have the little gator. You actually can put the little moonshine inside the cars and the people in the vehicles and drive them around. I love that. Obviously, I played a lot with the vehicles. It's fun. It's cool. It's a different kind of game because you look at route building a different way with this. So my 138 is Moonshine Empire.
Yeah, the game's not necessarily great at 2, so you want to have more players.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still fun. So my number 138, we mentioned Feld briefly earlier, but this legitimately is Feld. But it doesn't rain down points on you like I wish it did. But it is Notre Dame 10th anniversary or whatever. I have the 10th anniversary. And this is, I'm going to try to explain it, but it's funky.
I don't remember this at all.
I don't know if you've played this one.
That's possible.
You don't necessarily love Feld. You have 3 cards. You're going to draw 3 cards, and you're going to do a draft with those 3 cards. So you're not going to get probably most of your cards back in a more than 2-player game. And then all those cards are going to represent one of the spaces on a map. And there are spaces like put a cube here to protect yourself from rats, because like every good Feld game, you have rats. Put a cube here, and you get coins for every other cube you have here. Put a cube here and you'll protect yourself from rats. Or you may hurt somebody else on rats. Put a cube over here and you are going to get area control points for Notre Dame. Oh, and you can move your little carriage around and collect these tokens arbitrarily. Who cares for what? For points, that's what. But it's a cool game. That was a butcher of the
Wow,
theme.
sounds so great.
There's no theme here.
I can see why you love Feld so much.
And then after you do all that, then you can buy these helper cards, which are really cool, that are going to let you also then put more cubes out on the board. It sounds like a terrible game, and it's not. It's not a terrible game. It's a really fun game. I didn't do it any justice, but it's tan. You get points. You do some drafting, and there's cubes, and it's Feld. And like we've already established, you can poop in a box, and I would like it. So, my number 138, Notre Dame.
Gee, can't wait to play that one.
It's good. It's good. It's not in the top 100, so it's clearly not good. There are no tracks. There's just cubes. There is a track. There's a plague track of rats that are going to kill you. You're trying to keep that track low, so it's not how I like to move up on tracks. Every round, rats are going to come, and there's going to be a plague, and you're going to have to make sure you have doctors and all that stuff.
Amazing.
It's a good game. Shut up.
My 137 is a good game, and actually we have encouraged many people to buy this game. Yeah. So I feel like we should be getting cut of the profits.
Yeah, Simon.
Simon doesn't care about us.
Your $1 billion Kickstarters.
That's right. They don't care. The game is Marvel United. And there's like a billion different versions of this. I'm fond of some of the X-Men versions, but there's all kinds of Marvel people in this game. It's a cooperative game where you are taking a character from the Marvel universe and you are all working together to fight a bad guy from the Marvel universe.
Yep.
There's like, you can punch, so you could hit the bad guys. You can move to different locations, and you can help like rescue people or kind of resolve some events at the different locations. And so you're able to work together. Like, you get so many turns, and the cool thing is, like, you're playing cards out of your deck that have actions. Each Marvel character has like a special action, a couple special actions that they can do different, which I think is really cool. And actually, they tend to be pretty thematic. For the characters, even in just a very simple game. I mean, this game is super easy. You can teach this to anybody.
Yeah, it's definition of family weight.
Yes, and the fact that it's cooperative, at first you may feel like you're quarterbacking and trying to help people, but again, it goes pretty quick. So then you can play again and let people then say, okay, now you know how to play. Let's do it. Let's do it on your own. But also, when I play a card, the person who comes after me, if Jason comes after me, he gets the actions from my card plus his card. So you really, truly need to be cooperative.
At least with the people to your right and to your left.
Right, in order to make things work in this game. We just recently played the one with the Sentinels, that they have this like special, the Sentinels are like this big, these miniatures, completely unnecessary, but also awesome. At the same time, this game you can find anywhere. I think my cousin was saying he got it offline on sale for like $12 or something.
I mean, there was a while on Amazon it was like $7.
Yeah, it's super cheap, super accessible. It's a great like gift for people because they can easily figure it out on their own. Or I'm sure we have a video.
Yeah, we don't have a video.
Oh my god!
I don't know how to get it on the table to talk about it.
Oh, we have
the playmat. It's big. I could probably do it. I just haven't done it yet.
We should have a video about this one. I bet this would get a lot of traction.
I did think about it. I'd probably do the X-Men one. Same thing. Doesn't matter.
It'd probably go better than Notre Dame.
I haven't done a video on Notre Dame either.
Thank goodness.
Or I would know how to explain it a little bit better.
But it's great. You can find it at Walmart. I think at Target.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know that for sure.
But definitely, Walmart had its own edition.
That's one we have with Venom.
And Amazon, like, you can find this, and it's real easy. Like, young-ish kids could play it for sure, and they're gonna love the Marvel theme. And the artwork is all chibis, so they're so adorable. Like in the original one, like Red Skull, I'm like, oh, look at Red Skull, he's so cute. I'm not scared of him.
Yeah, not very intimidating when you're a chibi.
No, but it's still so adorable, and I love to play with them. So, my number 137 is Marvel United.
Yeah, I talked about that. I was trying to find out. I know I talked about it.
You just can't hit Control F and type Marvel?
I know, I didn't want to do that.
Is it going to mess up your numbers?
My number 137 is a game about World War II and some Germans trying to kill Hitler. And it's called Black Orchestra. And this is a cooperative game where you're taking on the role of Germans. There's civilians. There's people who are in the Antfog, Trudvang. I don't know.
The Abwehr.
Abwehr, yeah. There's different factions of Germans, but some of them are Nazis, some of them are civilians.
I hope PDB doesn't actually watch our channel.
And it was designed by our friend Philip DeBerry.
PDB.
And you're trying to go around to these different locations with your little pawn to fulfill these like missions. When your mission is trying to kill Hitler, of course. So I may need to get some poison. I may need to get to this certain location. It may need to be an unfortified location. It may need to be at a certain year of the game. Hitler's military strength may need to be at a certain level. So you're trying to get all these things to plan out, try to get where you go, and then you're going to roll some dice and hoping that the dice work. It's really hard.
I mean, with any assassination attempt, there is a bit of luck involved.
Yeah, it's really hard, and you are at the mercy of the dice a lot. It's not like... But it makes sense. It's not like you're doing all this work and you're never going to win. You're doing all this work, and, you know, if you're trying to kill Hitler, it's probably not going to succeed. So the game is, you know, accurate. You know, Hitler wasn't just getting poisoned every 5 minutes. So the game's kind of leaving, you know, makes you feel like that. You can get arrested. If everybody gets arrested, you can lose. If you can't defeat Hitler at a certain point, you lose. And when you get arrested, it is brutal.
Because this is Sapo. It's not nice, obviously.
You get these cards that you can't read to anybody, and you got to make these decisions that could send somebody else to jail, but you get out of jail. Or it could speed up the game, but you get out of jail. Or you get sitting there and nothing happens, but then you're down a person. The jail is nasty. It's a really fun game. It's a little long, but you're having a good time when I don't want to say good time. You're having
tense.
A tense, interesting time. It's a fun game. But yeah, I really like it. So my number 137, Black Orchestra.
Yeah, it kind of has like the Valkyrie, like that movie with Tom Cruise feel. I'm
similar vibe.
I think it might be the same.
I think there was two. There's two plots.
Okay, yeah. So
Black Orchestra was one, and Valkyrie was another.
So this one is based. A lot of it's based around the life of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and so there's a lot of really like accurate historical information in this game. But it also, I mean, it is a game, but you feel like so intense, and it's like, okay. So where are you? You got the plot. You need some files. How do I get the files to you? Can I get the files to you? Okay. Well, I'm pretty suspicious right now. The Secret Service, the Secret Service.
SS.
Yeah, the SS.
I don't know what that means, but
the SS is going to show up probably and throw me in jail if I give you this. But
yeah, and Bonhoeffer was a pastor too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it's interesting thinking, this guy's trying to plot to kill Hitler. But, that he's a pastor. So, like, the theme is just interesting. Everything about it is interesting.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I love it.
Super good. My 136 is a much lighter game. This is another shout out to Mike McCorney. He is getting shouted out all over the place. He brought this game. It was really hard to find. We managed to find a copy. I don't know if anyone else can ever get it. It's so good. It's Grimm, a card game. So this is simultaneous action selection-ish. It's really simultaneous bidding.
Yeah, simultaneous action selection bidding, yeah.
So everyone has the same cards. They're numbers 0 through 9? 8?
Yeah, something like that.
9. It's fairy tale themed, Grimm's Fairy Tales, right? So you are going to bid on these cards that are in this grid. You bid one row at a time to try and do some set collection. You maybe want to get a bunch of dwarves because each dwarf will give you so many points. Maybe you want to get gold because gold's points. If you get a dragon, they like to hoard the gold, so those are going to work together. Rumpelstiltskin can turn things into gold. Also really cool. Princes and princesses and a fairy godmother. The theme, I think, is fun. It has that old school Grimm looking artwork. The gameplay is super simple. I choose a card to play.
1 through 8, says Mike.
Oh, thank you. 1 through 8.
Thanks, Mike.
I put it face down. Everyone else is at the same time. We reveal, highest card wins. But then, some of the cards play off each other. It's in some ways, it's like Campy Creatures, just totally different theme. Different look.
Yeah, it may not be as involved as that one even.
Right. So it's super quick, but every time you're like, and so you can go and play several rounds of it in quick succession. It doesn't take up a lot of room. But again, easy gameplay, but decisions are stinking intense. And I really love that. And the scoring can vary from negative something to 50.
If I'm playing, it's negative.
Jason's not very good at
I'm
this
not
game.
good at this game at all. I tie every single time. Every time.
Yeah, so when you tie for a bid to win a card, it moves to the next round. So then the cards start piling up. You're like, ooh, I really want that. And once you play one of your bidding cards in a round, it's out until the next round.
And you have a cat that's out forever once you use that.
Because it's like a trump card, basically. Yeah. You add another card to it. Again, simple gameplay, but really difficult choices. Super fun. I really like it. 136 Grimm, a card game.
And good luck finding it.
Ever.
I
don't know.
I tried to find the publisher. I think they were a thing. I don't know. Maybe Mike can throw a link in if he knows, but I know nothing about this. There was one on Board Game Geek. I found it. One. And it's been non-existent since. So, sorry.
But it's good. You can come play with us.
So moving on from Black Orchestra. So we went from tan with Notre to Black Orchestra, which is more tan kind of. And then Kraftwagen, which is blue.
So his 136 is Kraftwagen.
Yes, my 136 is Kraftwagen.
More German.
More German.
From France to Germany.
Yes, that's true. German.
Not that you knew that Notre Dame was in France.
I did know that. Thank you very much. It caught on fire recently.
Ooh, look at
I
you.
know that. Okay, I know stuff. And there was a draft to see who was going to put the fire out, and there were some cubes and some rats. But anyway, my number 136, Kraftwagen, is about building old cars, like around the
I can't help you. I've never played this.
model. They look like what's the movie that Elvis is in where he's driving race cars?
Um,
There's a movie
I
that
don't remember what
Elvis is
it's
driving
called.
race cars in, and the race cars look like those cars. So if you know what that movie is, you'll get it. And Mike did put a link in that for that game in there if you want to go check it out. Buy at your own risk. I'm not doing any of that. But you're building, you have one of those cars and you're racing around this test track to try to score points. You're also trying to develop your own cars with different engines, bodies, and price points to sell to these different collectors. And the trick with that part is some of them want to buy the cheapest car, some of them want to buy the best body, some of them want to buy the best engine, and some of them just want the best deal. So you may think you have the best engine out there, but then someone goes in and puts a better engine with a cheaper price, so you get undercut on the one that you were shooting for. It's this cool action selection too, where you can move as far as you want around the action tile, take the action, but then it's the Takedo thing. Whoever's in the back can keep going in the action shift. It's a really cool game. Every time I play it, I immediately forget how to play it, and I have to learn them again. But there's cars, and you're buying them and you're selling them. Yeah, I'm not batting 1,000 today with the descriptions, but it's on YouTube. Go look at it.
It's all like cold medicine.
So my number 136, Kraftwagen. Yeah, Tussin's really messing with my head. It's messing with me.
This is the one that you said, since I cannot stand Kanban, because to me it's like I don't get rewarded for building cars, which I feel like that's what the stupid game should be about.
This one's all about building cars.
But you keep saying, oh yeah, Kraftwagen, you should like that, which we have never played. Maybe it's because you never remember how to play.
Right. Every time I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I gotta learn how to play this thing again. There's engineers who do things. Yeah, I don't know. It's tan and blue.
There are rats in a plague track?
There are no rats. There probably were rats, but there's no rats in the game.
Okay. One of these days, I will play that. We'll work on it maybe this week. I don't know. I've never seen that Elvis movie. I know that there is one.
There is one. I've seen it because my mom loved Elvis, so I have seen it.
I've only seen like...
I'm going to Google it right
There's
now.
one where he's on a steamboat.
Elvis movie with
Blue
race
Hawaii. My grandfather was in his unit in the army.
Speedway.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I know. That's why I was like, Thunder Road, that's not him.
He's driving a race car and he probably sings.
I'm sure.
Oh, Nancy Sinatra. There we go.
She also sings.
Yeah. Her boots were made for walking and Elvis's car was made for driving. There we go.
My number 135 is a game that you can find at Target right now. I think. Yes. I like this one. And this is like a theme that I think is catching on with the Zennials or the the Gen Zers. They are all into plants.
Oh, yeah.
And they're succulents.
Like almost every game that came out this year was a plant game.
So this is Planted. So in Planted, you're growing plants.
What?
I know.
There's probably rats.
I think there are no rats in the plants. You talked about this one maybe last week.
It was on the podcast for me, I thought.
Really?
Let's control F it. Yeah, F it.
Sure, but...
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. Shut up.
I'm sorry, what did you say again?
No, you get one time.
You're right.
You can play it back if you want to hear it again.
I do.
It was my actual 157.
There aren't rabbits in Planted either. Really, it's basically you trying not to kill the plants. You're actually just trying to grow them, so thankfully they don't die plant deaths. You're not a plant killer. But you are trying to get water and sunlight and plant food to grow different kinds of plants.
Green thumbs.
And green thumbs. for your plants, for growing plants and doing a good job. You can grow plants to like a certain level, and then you get points for said plants. You can also get additional cards that are like tools that help you work your plants better. Or there's like these end of game like set collection bonuses for like maybe the most hanging plants, or all the different types of plants, because there's hanging plants, there's potted plants, and there's floor plants. But they all are different kinds of plants. The pictures are really actually very accurate. It's very pleasant looking. It's a drafting game, because I should talk about how you actually play it. So you're drafting a plant.
Sounds like Notre Dame.
Or an action. There are no rats. It's not in. I don't think these plants are in France.
They could be. You don't know where they're from.
C'est possible. It's true. Some of them I do know where they're from. Actually, I know where the plants are from. But you could take a potted plant, I guess.
Yeah, I could be playing this.
There's
game.
some customs that might not let you bring the plant.
I could be playing this game in France. Therefore, these are French plants. Boom.
You don't know what you're saying. This is Jason on cold medicine, people.
It's like dairy, but only better.
It's dumber than regular. Planet is a very family weight game, absolutely for sure. You're just drafting cards and taking the resources from the cards, or taking the plants and putting the resources on the cards to grow the plants. You do that for, I don't know, 3 rounds, and then you count your points.
Phil Walker Harding really likes the 3-round game.
Yeah, Phil Walker Harding, I'm a big fan. And this is another like really a good one. A lot of people are into plants. So the theme works well, it's easily accessible, and it's pretty dang cheap.
For the components, it is crazy cheap.
It has really nice some wooden components. The suns are like these cool clear plastic that's very tactile. It's very nice to play with. Mm-hmm. The plants are really cute. I think also, I'm like, I don't even have plants, but I'm like, ooh, look, I want that, ponytail palm. Why? I don't know.
Venus flytrap is the one.
The Venus flytrap is cool. There are lots of cool plants in here. It's just a fun, lighthearted, like really easy drafting game. Again, a really nice bridging game for people. A really nice gift game. We have a video for this one. Yep. So yeah, if you're still looking for gift ideas, maybe some late exchanges, check out Planted, my number 135.
Yeah, I think I did talk about this somewhere. Let's control F. While I'm control Fing, my number 135 is another Feld game. Oh yeah, we just went over this. See, I can't even remember. We just talked about it. I am losing it. It's short. It's going away.
Jason's last game of the night. It's his number 135.
My number 135. What is it? Can you spell it for me? It's another Feld game, and it is... I used to like this a lot more, but I just haven't played it a ton, and there's other ones I want to play. This is In the Year of the Dragon. We have the 10th anniversary edition just because it was like $10 on Amazon, but you can get the regular one, which is the same, I think, just without some of the bits. And this is a game where you're playing through a year of the dragon. And in that year, which is basically 12 rounds, there are going to be nasty events that show up.
Continue.
9 out of the 12 rounds. And what you're trying to do is you are trying to figure out the way that you can minimize the damage that come from these events to score the most points. The first 2 rounds are just calm. So you can kind of look ahead. All the events are face up. You can see what's going to be happening. So you can kind of plan for maybe the first couple in the first 2 rounds. The way you're doing that is there's going to be some actions that you can pick from. You're going to put your little dragon down. There might be 2 or 3 different actions on that space. You get to pick one of them. So over the course of the game, you're doing 12 things. And you're trying to make the best of those 12 things to not lose a lot of points and earn a lot of points. And then after you do all the gathering stuff, you're going to be recruiting a new character to come live in your buildings, which will also help you mitigate some of the events. You may get a doctor. You may get a warrior that will help you fight, give you points. It's brutal. The game is brutal. People aren't brutal to each other, but the game is brutal. And definitely slaps you around, but I do like it. So my number 135, In the Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, I played this once, and it was hard, but it was so good. Like, it was a good game. I would play it again. But yeah, it is basically like putting your finger in a hole in the dike.
Yeah.
And
You can't do everything. You just gotta make the best of what you can do.
and sometimes it works out okay. It doesn't affect you that badly. And
Yeah.
so you're like, well, I only need to deal with this one thing. But
Maybe I don't want to mess with fireworks because who really cares? So I'll focus on the ones because fireworks don't hurt you negatively. They just don't give you any points. So I just forget those and start working on the mixed bad ones. Yeah, it's pretty
Great. Okay. So since Jason has derailed, let's recap our list from 145 to 135. My number 145 was Legacy, Tessin of Duke to Crecy. Number 144 is Homestretch. 143, Marvel Remix. 142, Draftosaurus. 141, Don't Go In There. 140, Abyss. 139, Awkward Guests. 138, Moonshine Empire. 137, Marvel United. 136, Grimm, a card game. And 135, Planted.
My number 145, Bermuda Triangle. 144 is Dark Tales. 143 is Gem Hens. 142 is Black Fleet. 141 is Eternal Palace. 140, Ancient Terrible Things. 139, Red Rising. 138, Notre Dame. 137, Black Orchestra. 136, Kraftwagen. 135, In the Year of the Dragon.
All right, so we're up to 135. I think on the podcast this week we're covering
40 to 31.
the 30s. So we've done some of the 130s, and now we're on to the 30s.
Yes, yep.
So lots of good games, lots of talking about games. I hope during your holiday you got time to play some games, and maybe some time for some more. But now Jason needs to be done.
I'm going to go pass out with my Tussin brain.
I've been Katie.
Yeah, I'm Jason.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Keep gaming. Don't say any bad words.